Hey Hobbies, what's up? So today, it's been 5 days since I put this, well, about 6, 7 days. I put this super on top here during the nectar flow. I noticed that the bees were really starting to come and go really quick at the entrance, and the bottom deep was getting full. Probably had about 7 to 8 frames of brood and nectar and honey out of the 10, and then the second one was probably around 5.5 of brood, nectar, and eggs and larvae and stuff like that. And they say about 70%, but I probably jumped the gun a little too quick to put this super on. But this is my first beehive, so I'm probably not gonna get any honey like I said before in my videos, but I'm just curious to see what this top hive's looking like after 5 days. The reason I'm checking it within 5 or 6 or 7 days is because I want to make sure the queen is not up here laying eggs, and I doubt she is, because I mean, it was empty comb for her to lay eggs within 5 days. I mean, the worker bees may have drawn out some 1 or 2 frames, and she may have got up there and laid, but I want to keep that from happening, because I doubt, like I said, I'll probably harvest honey this year, but perhaps maybe I could if this one gets filled and I hit the second flow, as they call it, like in the springtime, not the spring, but fall. So let's see what happens. I got my smoker ready. I do have a kind of a bad shoulder, so just bear with me. I'm gonna put my, oh, I actually thought I forgot this, but this is my queen grabber. So for people who aren't real good at picking up their queens and they're worried about crushing her, they have this little device. It's basically a little plastic clip thing, and you can pick up the queen and move her down if she is up in your super here. So let's put on my helmet here, my veil. So I'm only wearing a t-shirt today and shorts. So I'm sure eventually, there's certain times, like I said last time I was checking my bees, they were pretty agitated because of the hot weather. Not the hot weather, but the storms. And also I would believe that I saw on YouTube, there was a gentleman who actually, when they're starting, they call it winterizing, when they're getting ready to settle down for the year and they're getting their hive ready to winterize for the cold weather. Here in Georgia, it doesn't get too cold. It gets cold, but not for a long-term period. So they may be agitated at that time too, because they don't want their home to be messed with. So, like I said before, I do need to get a bee suit eventually, but right now I don't have one. So we'll just go from there. I'm gonna grab my smoker real quick. I'll be right back. It's right over here on the ground. Hopefully it didn't go out yet. Let's see. It probably did, because I was sitting here for a while. Let me refire it back up. I got my torch over here real quick. Fire it back up. I don't really like to get it really hot when I first go in, because rule of thumb says you want your smoke to be cool, when it hits the bees. And see how that flame is coming out of there? I don't know if you can see that. You don't want that. So I'm just gonna get this kind of fired back up, maybe tilted like that. Get the smoke to go that way. Let's feel a little bit. Yeah, that's kind of hot. So I really don't want to do that. Yeah, that's really, really hot. I wouldn't want that on me if I was a bee. Let's just let that cool off a little bit and give it about 20-30 seconds or whatever. So yeah, today I'm gonna check, like I said, this upper super. So I'm excited. Beekeeping is pretty exciting, because you never know what you're gonna get, like Forrest Gump says, or his mom said about chocolates. But with bees, you really don't. I mean, I guess as a beekeeper who's been doing it for a long, long time, they kind of say, yeah, I know this month is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, this week that's gonna happen. But I would almost say that, I mean, you're dealing with creation. There is A to B type scenario where they just know what they're doing, but it's still fun to learn about them. All the little things, all the little intricacies. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but you know what I'm talking about. So let's check this again. Still a little hot. I don't like that. See that flame coming out of there? Stop that. Now, you know why the flame comes out the top? Because when you start these smokers, what you want to do is start a little pile of fire at the bottom and let that smolder. Some people use burlap. I use pine straw. But the key thing is to get the bottom smoking. And then as that kind of just smokes and heats up from the bottom, the top is not as hot. So, I mean, this isn't too bad if I kick it back a little bit. Let's see if I can even pull this top off. They may have propolized it, as they like to say, propolization. Let's see if I can get it off here a second. Yeah, it's not too bad. Yeah, it's not bad at all. All right, so let me lift it up with my left arm because my right arm's a little sore. Get a little smoke in there. Set it back down. Let them kind of, I heard a bee crush. That's not good. Bummer. Anyway. All right, let's see what that looks like. Let's take this off. Make sure we don't see the queen under there. Yep, they went back down. Cool. All right. Do you see a queen, my friend? I do not see a queen. And the bees look semi-happy. So let's set this off on the ground here. All right. I'm just gonna do a real quick preliminary check in here. Like I said, I don't see a ton of any activity up top here at all. Mostly all these frames are still kind of empty. Let's pull out a couple and just see. It's not going to be a real in-depth inspection today. So there's not a lot of bee activity up here at all. So usually when you take the top off, you want to see a ton of bees on the top, and I didn't see any. So like I said, this is a new hive, so there's probably not going to be a ton of activity. They have, looks like it, they propolized it, the frames a little bit. That's probably one of the first things they do, I bet you. Now let's pull this one out. Yeah, nothing on there. Either side. Okay, so let's set that one right here. And I'm just gonna kind of slide these over and see what we have. Nothing, really nothing going on up top here. So as I suspected, like I said, these are brand new combs up here. So rule of thumb is what I've heard from a lot of beekeepers: if you want your hive to like move fast, number one, you want to feed them, which I don't want to do. I actually want my bees to learn to get their nectar and their pollen and their resources, and I don't want to take a lot of the resources. I want to live in harmony, and I don't want to give them, let me get this bee out of here a little bit, he's kind of irritated. I don't want to take too much of their resources because I want my honey to be from the nectar and stuff like that. You see how this bee is kind of a guard bee? They're like kind of get irritated, but he's okay. He's moving away. All right, so let's just keep moving these here. Like I said, me looking down here, I don't see nothing. So a lot of bee activity down below. Maybe I'll get the camera and show you guys that. That's that second deep I put on about a month ago. So that's good. Let's take another frame out of here just to see what that bottom one is looking like. And these bees will just kind of fall off and then go back to the entrance of the hive. So, all right. So let's move these out of the way slowly. Yeah, a lot of bee activity going on down the bottom. That's good. I like to see that. All right, let's see if I can show that to you. If you can see. Yeah, see all that down there? So as we move, oh, there's a bee getting me right there. Okay, on the stomach. Get. All right, get. Let me smoke him a little bit. He's kind of irritated. Get out of here. Sorry about that. Bee attack. All right. I think a lot of times that happens when either I crush the bee, you know, because when you open the hive the first time, they don't really come after you until you start pulling out, you know, frames and stuff like that. So it's possible I crushed one, but we don't know. Here's another one. Let's see if I can smoke these bad boys. Kind of calm them down. The smoke makes them think that there's a fire. So what they do is they run back to their hive, or, you know, they just they take their mind off of what is attacking them and say, hey, there's a fire coming at me. So you know what's interesting? I think that bee kind of, I don't know if he stung me or not, because it feels like a little sting, but I don't think he died. So that's interesting. I always thought honeybees, when they stung you, their stingers stuck in you, and you had no choice but the bee would die. So anyway, yeah, I see a lot of bee activity down below. I think I'm gonna close this up because, like I said, these frames I'm moving out, I see nada. They're not even putting wax on it. They may not have the resources to get up here yet, so that's possible. Which is, you know, they only can work as fast as they can with the resources, just like us. You know, if you're hungry, you know, you're not going to start on one building and then move on to the next one, because you want to get the other one foundation going pretty good before you know, start your next project. So that's even biblical. You know, like God tells us to, you know, count the cost. So the bees may be counting the cost of this next super up here. And they, last time I opened it up and looked at this bottom second deep here, they were storing honey there. So I'm hoping that I don't have to feed them. I'm not gonna. Like I said, that's my goal this year, is not to feed them. I know a lot of beekeepers think that's not good, but I want them to survive on their own. And if I can't get any honey, that's fine. But I don't want to take their honey. I just want to take the surplus. And that's what I want to learn. It's called natural beekeeping. There are guys out there doing it, guys and gals, and that's what I want to learn, because number one, I think the honey is going to be better. Two, it's cheaper for the beekeeper because we don't have to buy sugar, and it's less labor intensive. So I think the key to natural beekeeping is learning bee biology, learning what they need to survive, and helping them if I can, you know, because even if I wasn't here, they would survive. They would do it on their own. They would either die or swarm, what they're designed to do, split off, and then that the weak hive would die off, and the next one would get stronger. But as for me as a beekeeper, I want to learn what they do naturally. And I think if we did that more and more, because I know there's a huge mite problem in America and around the world. There's, you know, America is getting a lot more pestilence that I think a lot of times comes from us involving ourselves too much, because the pestilence, which I've heard, like with the varroa mites, they build up a resistance to the chemicals that we use on the bees, to where, like, the bees, they're one of the greatest, I would say, healthiest creatures out there, because they clean themselves. Like I said, they propolize dead mice, whatever the plural. They get rid of their dead bees. When they have a bad larva, they kick that out. They're very clean, and they're very conscientious about their hive and the cleanliness of it. So, and we all know, I mean, that's not a biblical term. Cleanliness is next to godliness. It's more of a human term, but there is a lot to say about that, because when you have a clean home, or you take a bath or whatever, you're less likely to get disease. Well, that one bee right there is doing a waggle dance. See it right there? I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can show it to you. Let's see if I can still see her. She was doing a waggle dance, and we know, if you don't know, a waggle dance is basically telling the other bees, hey, I found some good resources, whether it's water or nectar or something else. So, all right. So I checked this, which I'm happy. No, I'm not happy. There's no drawing out yet. That just means that they're not strong enough, or they haven't got to it yet. So I'll check it maybe in 2 weeks, come back. Which, one thing good, okay, like I said, one thing good about natural beekeeping, I don't have to like freak out and break the hive apart to see what's going on. I'm gonna trust them to do what's right for them. So I bet you, I would almost guarantee there's honey in these bottom deeps for their storage, and this is gonna be their surplus. So I'm hoping that they have enough storage of honey and nectar on here to get through the winter. And like I said before, if there's no honey here, that's okay. Right now, I'm just trying to learn about beehives. I'm not really interested in, yes, one day I want the honey, and the propolis and the bee bread, stuff like that, all those good things that humans can use. But right now, I'm just more concerned about the beehive itself. I want to make sure, I think the number one thing I want to do is make sure they don't swarm on me. So I can split the hive, but even the next hive, I want to look at it as, the way God intended them to be. Bees have been doing this a long time without us. And I think God wants us to get, in touch with creation and learn about it. And he makes us stewards over it. But a steward is more of a overseer, not a, hey, I'm gonna do everything for you. You wanna just kind of make sure that, just like with our children, we want to make sure they have the best resources, the best, foundation, so they can make their own lives. But anyway, I ramble on. I know, I'm sorry, but you know, I know this video wasn't very educational, but it was, you know, just something I wanted to share with you guys. So I really hope that you enjoy these videos. I know sometimes they get boring, the way I talk and stuff like that, but hey, it's something that I enjoy. I hope you enjoy, and as we grow together, maybe I can learn more and you can teach me something in the comments. I pray you guys have a blessed day. Go ahead and subscribe to that subscribe button, and if you do like what you see, I do want to make the videos better, so I'm looking to get maybe better cameras and spend more time on how to edit and stuff like that, because I know this camera point of view that we're seeing right now is not the greatest. I'd like to have 2 cameras maybe one day, one pointed on me, one maybe on the beehives, and you know, get a little bit more, you know, not professional, but just a little easier on the eyes. Because I know sometimes when we watch videos, like, boy, that's terrible, I gotta just pass that one, move on to the next video. So anyway, all right, I hope you guys have a wonderful day, guys and gals, and as always, I hope this inspires you to create something, not create something, but start something new, start something fun. It doesn't, beekeeping is pretty awesome. Like I said, if you do natural beekeeping, which I want to do, I don't think you have to spend a lot of time with them. You can actually just enjoy them, to where bee management sometimes gets overwhelming. You know, you're talking about chemicals, you're talking about sugar water, you're talking about, you know, hive beetles and all this extra expense, that I really think that the bees, if left alone, will figure it out on their own. And if they don't, you know, there's a lot of bees in nature that survive every day without our influence. So anyway, that's what I want to do, and I hope that you guys, you know, you choose the path you want to go down, but choose a path, get excited about something, be happy. God loves you, and so do I. All right, have a great day. Bye. Let's try to pause this.